About 3 million people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's in the United States every year. And you may not know that one of the biggest comorbidities is hearing loss, that Alzheimer's disease can actually increase with hearing loss. So here to talk about it this morning and explain is Corey Castro from Beltone West. Hey, Corey, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Noelani. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate to be here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really surprising for a lot of people. And there's a new study that's kind of mapping this out for us. So what did it find?
Essentially, what they were doing is they were tracking people over about a decade-long period of time to see if there was any kind of correlation between hearing loss and dementia or Alzheimer's disease. They did hearing tests at the beginning of all these people, and they also did brain scans of them. And then they retested them over time during that study. And what they found was that people who had some form of hearing loss were actually more likely to have dementia, and not just having hearing loss versus not having hearing loss, but also based on the severity of it. So people with mild hearing loss were about twice as likely to develop dementia as compared to people with normal hearing. And it would go up as hearing loss gets worse. So people with moderate hearing loss are about 3 times more likely, and people with severe hearing loss are about 5 times more likely to have dementia. What they found was people with untreated hearing loss lost about a little over a cubic centimeter brain matter per year compared to people with normal hearing. And that's about the size of a small sugar cube.
And maybe this will help explain the connection between brain interaction and hearing.
They're actually linked very, very closely. So when we're seeing patients in our clinics at Beltone, what we're doing is we're testing people's hearing to determine if they have hearing loss. But there's actually 2 sides to that, because when somebody is processing sound, the ear is designed to collect that sound to transmit it to the brain. And then it's the brain's job to interpret that sound. So when you have somebody that has a little bit of cognitive decline and they have hearing loss, their brain is having to work harder to process that sound coming through the ears, because it's not good information coming from the ears. And when the brain is having to work harder, it's taking processes away from other areas. So if your brain's having to work harder interpreting sound or speech, you might have a harder time remembering things. You might have a harder time processing other inputs or stimulus.
Where should our baseline hearing be, and what other things can we be doing about it to maybe try and prevent this?
Well, I always recommend people have a hearing test done around age 50 or 55, even if they're not sure if they have a loss. That's how we set a baseline, is we have to perform a test in order to compare to future tests. Or if you notice that you're having issues understanding people, if you're going to restaurants or at family gatherings and you have to ask people to repeat themselves, or you feel maybe a little bit more isolated because you can't communicate that well with other people, that's also a sign of hearing loss. And it's a good idea to come and get that tested. And at Beltone, we do hearing tests for free. Just go to beltonewest.com. Beltone spelled Beltone. And you can find our number on there or schedule an appointment straight from our website. We also have a hearing screening tool on our website that's free to use. So if people are just kind of interested in checking that out, it'll tell them if maybe they do have hearing loss or not. And if they do, it'll let us know and we can contact you, or you can contact us to have a more thorough examination done.
All the more reason to get into the office. Thank you so much.
Thank you.